I'm gonna show you the 5 strongest ways to keep somebody in close guard based on the most common reactions that you'll face. So we're gonna go over when they're grabbing both collars, when they're controlling your wrist, when they're putting the knee in the middle, when they're standing up in your close guard, and when they put their hands in your armpits. I would say these are the 5 most common things people will do to try to deny you control in close guard. So it's really important to know how to make somebody stay in your game for as long as possible and make them feel like they have to take big risks if they want to get out, so you have better opportunities to attack and to submit. So enjoy. Okay, the first one we're gonna go over is when the opponent grabs your wrist. It's gonna look something like this. Your partner will, or your opponent will control your wrist, looking to pin it to your hip, and then maybe grabbing a collar to get this kind of like top-bottom structure here where I can't break his posture, and I only have one hand to use to try to control him. And then he'll start to work his way out from here by standing one leg up, typically on the side of the hand you have controlled, so you can't underhook. Okay, so this is the beginning of the end for your close guard. So if we go back, this is a wrist lock from this position. Okay, anytime my partner or my opponent grabs the same side wrist, I'm looking for this submission more to condition him and make him feel like, oh, it's a threat to grab this, to kind of make him feel like it's difficult to get out and he doesn't want to, like, he's a little bit tentative to grab any grips to get out. Okay, so this is what the submission looks like. Okay, so a couple of things are happening here. As my partner grabs my wrist, everything is happening pretty quickly, but I'm gonna do it slow and segmented so you guys can learn it. I'm dragging his arm across so that his elbow will be inside of the pocket of my hip right here, and he's not able to retract his arm and defend the wrist lock by moving his arm out. So I bring the arm across. Now my legs are starting to bring him in and break his posture, while my free hand is going across the top of his wrist, and my forearm is pulling against his wrist, and my hand that he's controlling is facing up, and I'm bending his wrist back to start to create the angle to break the wrist, okay? Now as my legs are continuing to bring him in, I'm getting a rear naked choke grip with my left hand. My right hand is cupping over his wrist, and I'm gonna create a little pocket with my right leg for his elbow to rest in. So look at my right leg here. I'm gonna place it on the hip. My other leg is gonna go high on his back, and I'm gonna continue crunching him in. And now his elbow is placed in this little seat between my hip and my leg. Try to pull your arm out here. See? And so now I start to crunch, bringing his knuckles down towards his elbow, and I get the tap. This next one is called the balloon sweep, and it's an answer for when your partner grabs both collars and they're looking to stand up in your close guard like this. 1, 2. Okay, so we go back down. As soon as he grabs both collars and they're about in the middle, they're not in the armpit, but they're more on your chest, I'm gonna get 2 sleeve grips. And this is just gonna take away his ability to base once I do start to sweep him overhead, okay? Now, as my partner starts to stand, his first leg goes up. Once his second leg goes up, my legs are gonna open, go ahead. And I'm turning my knees in, and I'm grabbing his body, and I'm kind of like pulling him above his head. See, my legs are squeezing him. The analogy I always use is like, it's like 2 chopsticks holding a piece of sushi. I'm kind of holding him and leaning him forward, and what your partner's usually gonna feel is they're gonna feel like they need to post their hands. So once their hands release, I'm also pulling him out and kind of making him feel like he's gonna be able to post his hands. Just as his hands are about to hit the mat, I tuck them, relax. I'm like gonna fall. I'll roll you. I tuck him towards his body, and then I encourage him to do a shoulder roll. Okay, I ran out of storage, so we're switching up the phone. So if the quality looks better, it's because I got that old John, and Heather has like the most premium phone, so you're welcome for the quality improvement. One thing I wanted to talk about with this sweep, the trick is it's gotta be a sudden off balance. So it's this motion right here. So if you start to stand up, oh, go slow, go slow. Yeah. As you start to stand, it's right here, look. 1, go ahead. You see how it's like,
Scared my ass.
I know, as soon as he hits that top point, I have to open my close guard, close my knees in. See how I'm kind of doing this like I have to piece kind of thing? And then I'm pulling these sleeve grips that are holding onto my chest. They're not gonna make him let go. He's gonna let go because you feel how you got scared. Your hands are gonna naturally go out. Go ahead. And you're gonna continue to pull him, and then you kind of tuck them under. And it's gonna be a shoulder roll. Don't bring your partner straight down on their face like Alex did not trust me not to do. You're aiming for a shoulder. So as you bring him out, look, I'm looking at Alex's left shoulder. As I tuck, I'm looking in that direction. And then we come on top of him out. Okay, this is a really good one. Beyond the mechanical things I told you to do, try to work on the timing of suddenly pulling him out, and you'll get this one. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the video. If you want to learn more close guard and take your close guard from a stalling, holdy position into a submission heavy, back take heavy, deadly position that I know it can be, you should check out my close guard course, Inverted Mount. I left you guys a 20% off discount code in the caption, so check it out, you won't regret it. I know this one looks like it doesn't work, but it works really well actually. So this is an answer for a very classic way to get out of the close guard, which is people put their knee in the middle of your butt. Not in the middle, but like on the outside of the cheek. And then they'll kind of spread their base and it'll create a wedge that they can like arch their back against and open your legs. So this is the way that I always do this sweep. So if we go back. Also, I call this the tilt sweep. I feel like there should be a better name. If you guys can come up with a better name, please leave it in the comments, because this sweep to me feels like the most jujitsu, like least effort, highest reward technique I've ever done. So if you can come up with a better one, let me know. But I time it like this. I control both sleeves. As he starts to put his knee in the middle, I'm like, okay, that's his escape, right? I'm reading you, I know what you're doing. And then I'm not gonna go for the sweep right away because it's timing based and I've already missed the opportunity, but he's shown his hand. So I kind of act a little bit, like I'm like disgruntled. I'm like, oh God, that was very like almost effective and please don't do it again. But I actually want him to do it again. Go ahead and reset. Yes. And now, once he starts to do it, as he's bringing this knee in the middle, but he hasn't spread his other knee, his knees are very close together. So go ahead and freeze right there. I lift my hips at the same time. See this space? And I drop it on the outside of his leg. So look, I kind of like salsa move out here. I'm a salsa dancer in case you guys didn't know. That's like one of my side skills. Why are you laughing? That's literally true. So once I bring my hips out here, like salsa bachata style, I start to drop my hips on the outside of his knee, and it's gonna start to naturally pull his body into me with my close guard, and I'm starting to tilt him off to the side. And because I have both sleeves, he's not gonna be able to post. He's just gonna look like really silly as he falls to the side of his body. And sometimes if you, you wanna do it again? Go ahead. Sometimes if you get a lot of momentum, you can just follow him up with both sleeves. But if he lands on his side and it kind of goes static, I always do this switch so I get on top first. Instead of having same side sleeve, I go bottom sleeve, and then I use my bottom arm to post myself on top. Try to get up, Alex. See this? I can lift my hips and start to push myself on top. So that's the tilt sweep, and it's the answer for when they put the knee in the middle. Tap. An armbar attack I like to do when somebody does that thing where they like grab your collars or they just put their hands in your armpits. Like this here, this is super annoying because it's a really, really strong control and denial of control for me as the guard player. I can't really, not only can I not break his posture because his arms are posted like in my upper body, but I can't even make grips effectively. Like my hands can't reach him. So it's a really like nasty way, not nasty, but effective way for him to get out. So what I like to do is, as my partner's standing, yes, like this, I'm gonna post my foot on his hip, close my thigh against his elbow, and then my hands are gonna cup against his wrist, and I'm pulling and driving against his elbow like this, okay? So it's a lot of like leaning and closing, but I'm also pulling his arm in this direction. So I'll get a tap a lot of the ways this way, And a lot of times what'll happen too is they'll try to turn their hand to alleviate, and that's when we just kind of keep this grip. I frame, I pass my leg in front of the face, and then I start to look for my omoplata. Okay, and this can finish a few different ways. Let's rotate this way. The conventional way that I always look for is reaching across his back so he doesn't roll through. We all know that roll through where they're trying to escape. Go ahead and show. Like this, yeah. Boom, and they'll try to escape this way, or if you come back. If I'm too late reaching across his body, he might hop over my head. Yes, like this. Boom, and then start to smash me down. Come back. So I go across his back. I start to sit up to my elbow, scoot my hips out, and hug all the way across his back. Now my feet point behind me so that I can lift my hips from the floor, and I'm driving diagonally across while my leg makes sure his posture stays broken. So I don't want to just lift and his shoulder lifts. This is driving down, and then I'm sitting up to drag his elbow across. Ha! Jesus Christ.
Gotcha.
So that's a good counter for when they put both hands in the armpits. Remember, when you guys are doing these techniques, it's all about conditioning them to not want to escape. So even if you don't get these submissions and threats, it's still a good way to force them to stay in your closed guard, which is the goal. That's the bad one. Oh, sorry. What's this even? Okay, this next technique is an answer for when the opponent stands. And there's a lot of answers for when they stand. We went over the balloon sweep, overhead sweep. There's the muscle sweep, but there's another very strong system called the reverse muscle sweep. And in my opinion, once you set this position up, it takes a lot of practice to get the setup, but it is very, very difficult, nearly impossible to counter. This is the reverse muscle sweep, and I'm gonna show you some of the options from this position, okay? So your partner stands. Something important is to keep your hands free. Don't allow them to control the sleeve. If they're grabbing the sleeve, you attack a lot of the wrist locks to make sure they stand without the sleeve. And what I'm looking to do is, rather than underhooking the same side leg with the same side arm, like this, I'm gonna use the opposite side arm for the opposite side leg. So I'm going behind my back and underhooking, okay? And you can see it's like kind of hard to reach. So the first thing you wanna do is go from your shoulders to the top of your head by posting on the near side leg and lifting your hips from the floor. Look how I'm C-gripping his leg. I'm on my shoulder and head. Now I put my hand on the mat and I'm moving my body very close to the leg I want to target. Now I'm reaching behind my back until the back of my hand controls his leg, and I'm bringing his ankle into the crook of my bicep. Now my hips are resting on the inside of his knee, and I'm gonna push along the mat and rotate him until he falls. So you can see the position I'm in. I have his far side leg underneath my body and hooked in my bicep. There's a ton of attacks you can do from here. If you're a brown belt and above, you can attack a toe hold, and if your partner has really bad ankles like Alex, he's gonna tap super fast. Okay? What I like to do is control same side sleeve.
Well, yeah, a lot of times they're still.
Yeah, they're kind of holding on and trying to stay back. Controlling same side sleeve, you can hip out and attack a really easy armbar that he can't angle out of because you've got him controlled with your right hand. I can also do like a flower sweep where I unlock my legs and I post on this side, and I just use my leg to push him and lean him to his back, release his leg, trade my grip. See, I'm holding onto his near sleeve now and posting myself on top this way. A lot of times too, we can angle out, clamp high on his shoulders, and pull our leg to ourselves and attack triangles. So this is the reverse muscle sweep system. I cover a lot of the details of this technique, how to get in, how to control all the attacks in my closed guard course, Inverted Mount. I left the link in the caption or the description below, so make sure you guys check that out. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video.